Metal theft is taken incredibly seriously by the fire service. It risks lives when fighting fires and threatens the economic well-being of businesses and communities across Scotland. We spoke to Strathclyde Fire and Rescue to better understand the issues and why joint working is such an important part of solving this difficult problem.
Very often, metal theft is considered a victimless crime. It's something where the actual outcomes are not clearly understood by many people. We have a clear understanding of what could happen, and the simple truth of the matter is that anyone engaged in metal theft is risking their lives. They're not only risking their own lives, but they're risking the lives of communities who become involved in fires or disruption. There is a huge hidden cost in respect to metal theft. And very often when buildings are set alight or cable is set alight, which could affect the infrastructure, it upsets the economic well-being of the area. For an example, if a large building is set alight, that has consequential road closures for many days. Small businesses may not be able to operate for a long time. There is a requirement to demolish a building after an investigation, and those costs mount up, and it's not rare for the financial impact of a single act of metal theft to rise into 10–20 million pounds for a single incident, and that is something that I don't think many communities can sustain. In respect to the vibrancy of an area, if buildings that are unused or become derelict have been burnt out, then it's very difficult for a community to recover from that, and it drags the community down. Quite often there's a desire to get at copper, which has been sheathed in some sort of plastic or PVC coating as a cable. And in order to get to that quickly and efficiently in the eyes of the metal thief, the way to do it is to set fire to the copper and its plastic sheath. It's hugely toxic, and something that is set alight in a confined space will lead to a death, if not a serious casualty. It very often involves buildings or areas which are confined in some way, such as a tunnel or an underpass. So the products of combustion and dense smoke that arises from such fires can cause absolute mayhem to traffic, travel, and the infrastructure at large. Not so long ago there was an incident in Glasgow involving the M8 motorway and an underpass there where cable had been stolen and a fire ignited, and as a result the motorway was closed, and I think the impacts of that are clearly obvious, but from a fire perspective, such an unnecessary fire placed a huge drain on our resources at a time when they could be much better deployed doing either community safety work with the public at large, or indeed standing ready to respond to genuine emergencies. Quite often we use fixed installations within high-rise buildings. We call them rising mains. We often find that rising mains have been vandalised and outlets taken, and I think people could quite clearly imagine what would occur if we were deployed to a house fire within a multi-storey flat to find that a rising main had been vandalised. It impacts upon community life safety, and it also impacts on the safety of crews who are attending and expecting to find a fully functioning rising main to fight fire, but don't. As time goes by, it will be inevitable that someone will lose their life through stealing metal.